Hey there YouTube, welcome to Big Mike Beard Wisdom. So today we're trying to clear out some of these stumps, and it's kind of one of those things where I started with a plan and now the plan's kind of changed. So if you remember any of my planning videos, I've kind of messed up this stump here a little bit just because this stump's actually coming apart pretty good. So that tree stump set we cut down maybe 3 years ago or so. And then I left plenty of stump out to try and do what we're doing today, which is trying to get rid of as much of the stump below ground as possible. And then this one's an older one. I don't know how old, but you can kind of see it's pretty degraded. That stump over there, I think, isn't as old in terms of when the tree was cut down as this one was, but it's still pretty old. That one I think we're going to leave in place for the moment, just because this has been quite a good bit of work. And I just want to get these two out, which are the important ones. That one can come out later. But if you're going to dig out some stumps by hand, I would definitely recommend having a good shovel and an axe and clearing the bottom part of it. So essentially coming in, digging down around a bit. That way you get it below the surface. Now if you're going to take the whole stump out, you want to kind of clear it a little bit more. For me, I just want to get it down below the surface, and what will happen is I'll wind up covering that back over. And then like this one has been breaking down for quite a while. Even the roots were pretty easy to kind of like bust up with just the shovel, so almost no need for an axe. And then this one I'm hoping will be gone someday soon once that bottom part's all covered up. This one, it's going to be a bit. So this one definitely needed some axe work. So you can kind of see how everything's kind of chipped up over here to try and bust up some of the bigger pieces. But I was able to get that mostly below grade. And then what I'm going to do is actually use a chainsaw to cut it down farther. That way it's actually good and gone and out of the way. And then an optional thing would be having like a tarp to kind of put the dirt into. That way you've got a nice easy spot to put it. For me, this is not the landscaping that I would have set up and stuff. So, but I do kind of wish I would have seen what it looked like when these were in its heyday. But a lot of stuff's gone kind of downhill, either with the previous owners, and then, you know, I've kind of ignored a bunch of stuff myself. But the mulch, so I haven't added any new mulch to this, but this had wood chip mulch, so you can kind of see the wood chips and stuff. But this wood chip mulch is actually several inches deep and is broken down pretty much to like actual dirt or compost. So you can see that's almost the full fingers. So probably a good 3.5 inches worth of soily mulch that's broken down, which kind of explains why I've had so many weeds. So instead of being, you know, just a layer of mulch over the fabric, we have a broken down layer of super, probably great for plants to grow, composted mulch and dirt from the trees and the plants and the leaves and stuff like that breaking down. So a lot of this would probably be good for like the raised beds that we have, and then kind of need to redo this section. That way the landscape fabric can do its job of trying to keep the weeds away, as opposed to what I have right now, which is a great weed growing medium sitting a couple inches above the fabric. And then this tree was closer together earlier, and it was just one of those things where I just kind of reached across and push this one over. So this is breaking down pretty good. You can kind of see just how like sawdusty it is inside. And I more or less just finished breaking the rest of that off. So this one's breaking down pretty good. So once I get this kind of trimmed down below grade, I'm willing to bet that this is probably going to break down and be gone pretty soon. So, but it's been great seeing like all like the bugs and stuff like that underneath. There's a ton of earthworms down here and stuff, so that's why I'm hoping all that's going to be going into the raised beds along with some of the soil we have over there to try and improve it. And then just to kind of show you how like weak and flimsy this stuff is, you can see that's got a fair amount of wiggle, but not quite enough that I can break it loose. Well, maybe not. At least not with, you know, holding the camera at the same time. And then the plan is just to use this Kobalt 80 volt max electric chainsaw to just trim it up down below and get it knocked down, hopefully as far as possible. Finally got this one out. That one over there was pretty simple, so that took, you know, a little bit of nothing to actually get it done. So right over there was kind of where it was still attached. Right over there was where it was still kind of still attached. But otherwise everything just kind of fell over and ripped out. So, and then that's just a whole bunch of like the tree guts that have like degraded over time and semi, you know, it's a decent like compost type stuff. This one though, man, this is a bear. So I believe this was an oak tree, maybe, but it was just one of those things. This one was tough. So this is what I focused on the majority of the time. It took 3 batteries to go through it, and I actually wound up doing 3 sections because that's kind of how the tree had formed, was from 3 sections. So by doing those 3 sections, I was able to get them cut out, but whew, boy, that's a lot of work. But you can really see the size of like the chainsaw compared to the stump. So definitely one of those things where I'm glad I had the chainsaw. That would really suck doing this with an axe the entire time. And the Kobalt 80 volt max was a champ. So definitely glad to get this done. You can pretty much see all the sawdust. So it was about a 87, 88 degree day today. So we took plenty of breaks. The whole job probably took less than 3 hours with the breaks, and there were good like 30-minute breaks about every hour on the hour. So just kind of one of those things. Definitely take breaks, drink plenty of water, because last thing you want to do is get dehydrated and have anything bad happen, especially if you're messing with a chainsaw. But if you got trees you got to cut out, you know, it's not that bad doing it with like hand tools. So shovel, axe, and a chainsaw. A stump grinder would be way easier, but you know, a stump grinder, I don't know how far down inside the hole you can get or below grade. I don't know if stump grinders dull out, kind of like a chainsaw blade will dull out if you hit the dirt. So, but definitely not that bad. All the tools I had already had, so essentially I was able to do this more or less all for free. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Feel free to like, subscribe, and I'll check you next time.